Also with us, Will Scharf, an attorney for the former president in his immunity case, who was on court today. He's also running for Missouri Attorney General as a Republican. Will, it's great to have you on the show. I want to know, because you were in court today, did you get a chance to look at the jury? What was their reaction? Did they find the defense's closing argument compelling? What was your takeaway?
Well, I think what the jury witnessed this morning was a systematic dismantling of the prosecution's case by Todd Blanche. Todd gave them 10 independent reasons why, after hearing all the evidence after this entire trial, why they couldn't vote to convict. And what I saw from the jury was attentiveness, was a serious attention to detail. I think they seemed interested by Todd's argument. And as a defense lawyer, that's really all you can ask for and hope for. But again, I think this morning went extremely well for President Trump, for our team, and we'll have to see how the afternoon wraps up.
Yeah, and it's interesting when these notes come out of the courtroom, and we're going to talk to Howard Kurtz about this in a minute. But your thoughts on the overflow room being amused, very amused, the media there, by some of the prosecution's, the prosecution's comical statements.
Well, I think the media has fundamentally misrepresented and perhaps misunderstood this case from the start. This is not a tabloid case. This is not a Stormy Daniels case. This is ultimately a fairly mundane case about business records. And I think what Todd Blanche did an outstanding job of this morning was showing that, with respect to the records in question, that the prosecution had failed to meet its evidentiary burden on numerous elements of the charged offenses. And I think all the laughter in the media room really doesn't matter, because I think the media doesn't get this case, hasn't from the start. And I think that's ultimately going to be borne out once the jury comes back with its verdict.
I wonder what you think about the clarity of the underlying crime here, this felony, where they're saying now in closing arguments, the prosecution, that it was all done to, quoting here, cover up an election law violation.
Yeah, I think it's patently absurd. I think it's insane that we didn't have clarity on what the underlying crime was for this long. But again, without business records fraud, there is no case. And I think we have made the case. We have made the case quite persuasively that there was no business records fraud, that the business records in question were accurate, that there was certainly no fraudulent intent with respect to how they were made. And for those reasons alone, any fair jury, I believe, would speedily acquit.
And I wonder, because there's been a lot of comment coming out of the court today that the prosecution now going into this underlying crime, right, that the thing they bootstrapped these 34 counts to, I wonder if the fact that the jury is just now hearing this makes it so complicated, when really the defense's closing argument was fairly simple, saying, listen, Michael Cohen's a liar, and that's that.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, that our argument here really is very simple. These records were not fraudulent. Michael Cohen is a liar. To believe the prosecution, you have to believe that they've proven beyond a reasonable doubt this far-reaching conspiracy for which there really isn't evidence in the record. And I think ultimately the jury is going to see that, and that's why we're very confident heading into deliberations.
Yeah, I just also, lastly here, I want to bring this up because this was something that happened right before the break, where the judge lashed out at the defense. He was very upset, where they said, you can't send somebody to prison, meaning the former president, on this, and the judge lashed out at that. What was your take on that comment and the judge's response?
I think a lot is being made of it, Trace, but at the end of the day, Todd Blanche had a 2.5-hour-long summation. There are bound to be some things that come in a summation like that maybe you regret saying. But again, I think that's a very minor footnote on what was an outstanding summation by Todd. And I think it also underlined the stakes here. I mean, what we're talking about here is President Biden's political allies attempting to throw his principal political opponent, who is wrecking him in every national poll in this presidential race, potentially in prison. And I think that underlining those stakes is very important. And I think everybody in the courtroom knows that.
And because you say the stakes were so high, you were in the courtroom. What was the jury's response when this back and forth was going on?
Well, the back and forth between Judge Merchan and Todd happened after the jury had left the room. So what they really just heard is a quick objection, which was sustained, and Todd moved on from there. So I don't see this having any meaningful impact on jury deliberations.
And when the jury actually heard the statement that you can't send somebody to prison for this, was there a reaction? Did you notice?
I didn't notice any particular reaction. Again, I think everyone in the courtroom is well aware of what the stakes are here. But again, I think the key takeaway from this morning is the systematic dismantling of the prosecution's case. There is no evidence that business records fraud occurred here. There's no evidence that these business records were even false. And I think Todd just did an outstanding job laying that out with crystal clarity.
Yeah, Will Scharf, great to have you on the show. Thank you, sir.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.